Okay, I just went through the whole scenario again this morning and forgot to turn on. Oh, Lord. And it never comes out the same the second time. So let me go yet again once more back through the cards and explain what we have this morning. Okay, we start with progress. Progress is progress if I turn on the machine, isn't it? Okay, we start here with progress. Okay, advancement, gaining recognition, appreciation, achievements, acceleration, steady gains, increased clarity. So we're mostly looking today with the rest of the reading, at really the increased clarity that comes, advancement through increased clarity, because if you are on a path and seeking to know who and what you are, and just as importantly, what you are not, the false things that you have believed yourself to be, which have been a mask that one's worn, and you're never those things, okay, you will go through a lot of, like the clouds, shape-shifting, okay, a lot of changes along the way. 1 second it looks this way, the next second you have another insight, or you have another challenge, and then it shifts again, constantly shifting along the way. Okay. So next we have, this is a path. If you're on the path to self-exploration or realization, you're trying to get to the point of moksha or liberation within oneself, one eventually finds that the only thing there is to be liberated from is your own ideations and nonsense that have been collected, which have created your own jail, the jail of your own making, the defining box that you have been dragging around as a me-ism, okay? You see that you've always, in the end, it's like the great joke, is revealed. You've always been free. You're free to suffer, okay? And we choose suffering because it's familiar. Not because we enjoy suffering, but we are in that hamster wheel that just keeps revolving, because it's what we know, what we've accepted, what we've based our lives around, the ideations. And when you've latched onto something, identification or ideation, the more you fight with it or try to dispel it, deny it, you just keep feeding it energy, and it keeps growing and growing and growing and feels more solidified. The more you do that, the more solid it feels. Okay? So you have to do a path of reflection, really sitting with yourself, the thoughts, see how they come and go. Whatever is transient in nature is not the eternal is. It is not that unchanging divine is, which runs like a thread through all of existence, which gives us the ability for life and exploration and learning. The seed state is, which is perfection in itself. Unfortunately, this perfection gets covered over with what do they call it? Obscurations? Okay, what's that? Obstrifications? Okay, obscuring factors. Okay, let me leave it at that. Obscuring factors, which are occluding, which means it's you're not seeing in clarity. So you do the path in reflection to see what's actually there versus the spin that one has on things. Okay. If you sit and you watch the mind, you'll see so many times. This is why I've recommended my students go to some sitting meditation where they're just sitting for days and they see how the mind starts running and brings up all these past scenarios and future what ifs, and it has nothing to do with what's going on with them in the moment, which is just sitting. But then this is really running a scenario for them. And they get caught up in emotions and get caught up in these, you'll get waves of anger, you'll get waves of sadness, you get all this stuff, and what's really happening? Nothing. You're just sitting there. Eventually you get clued into the fact, wait a minute, none of this is happening. I'm just sitting here. So where is this coming from? And you start to, at that point, look and start to peel away the layers of the onion, okay, from what's surrounding all this nonsense to ever more stillness and ever more clarity as one goes to the center until you get to that unmoving, unchanging, eternally divine is, the seed state, the potential. That's why you have the linga. It is shaped like an oval, a zero, infinite potential. I say the pregnant void. People call it void, but it's not void. It's pregnant with everything that will ever. It is absolute, total life force. Okay, minus any identifying obscure. There's a word I want to use and it's not coming. Minus anything that's occluding, okay, covering over any of it. It's pure as the way it is. Anyway, so part of that again is doing reflecting and to stay grounded, to stay in this moment rather than allowing yourself to go off on these fantasy notions or just railroading yourself with past identifications, etc. So the process is sitting and doing the practice of neti, which means neti means not this, not this, not this. So one continues to watch what comes, what's coming up in mind. Okay? Whatever is transient is not the eternal is. And one starts to question, well, what about the body? Well, the body's changing. Body comes and goes. That's not the eternal is. Emotions, they come and go. It's not the eternal is. Thoughts, they come and go. That's not the eternal is. One just has to, but not just, doing it like by rote. One has to really go into the depth of it and see it, and something will almost feel like it's unlocked all of a sudden. It's like an aha, and one keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into seeing. Eventually one gets to the point where you're gone, the world is gone, all is gone except for this eternal is. And then that breaks through the last shell casings of who and what you thought you were, okay, to where then you have total self-worth. And it's kind of an oxymoron. You get self-worth when you finally find out, I never existed. The only thing that truly exists is that eternal is, and the rest of it is a soap opera that has been gathered, collected, run as if it's genuine when it was just a script of the moment. Okay, so when all of that deconstructs, then you see, self-worth. All of that drama was trying to present a mask, an image, okay, occluding what's genuinely there, which is that eternal divine self of is, before it personificates into a um, feeling of a limited being. Okay. So it's like going through and cutting all these threads, these knots that have been made along the way. Each one of those gets cut and you get a little more clarity. You get a little more progress to discovering really what is underneath of all this, what runs like a thread through all this, what makes all of this possible, what is eternal in nature, what is the reality versus the spin. Again, so going through that, there's going to be a lot of shape-shifting, a lot of changes. So important to stay grounded along the way. Stay in this moment rather than getting lost in projections of what if or past stuff, or if only this had happened, I wouldn't be, you get in the pity cycle and start running that. That doesn't clear up anything, okay? It takes a matter of reflection, again, looking and see what's coming up. Whatever is changeable, transient, is not that eternal divine source, which gives one truly self-worth, okay? So I'm going to leave this here. I hope everyone is on their path of discovery to becoming a liberated being. Like I said, we're always liberated, but we're liberated to suffer. We take on the suffering ourselves by our own boxes. We continue to manufacture and keep ourselves in by these self-deprecating thoughts and these mistaken notions that we continue to fight against or try to be in denial of, creating some kind of a mask. It's only when we're willing to be vulnerable, to start to take that mask off and really question things, that we can get free of the defining jails and boxes that we create for ourselves within the thinking mind of projection. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Friday, and I will see you online. Aho, have a great day.